So, if you've been anywhere online in developer circles lately, you've probably felt it. There's been this massive viral clash between two major AI agent platforms. Today, we're going to dig in and figure out what's really going on behind all the hype.
This right here, this is the quote that basically set the internet on fire. It's such a bold statement, right? A total knockout in the super fast-moving world of AI agents. It's the kind of headline you just can't scroll past.
And believe me, it wasn't just one headline. This whole narrative just exploded everywhere. We've all seen them, those triumphant YouTube thumbnails, the super confident posts on X, all shouting about this swift, decisive victory for the big player, Anthropic. Well, you know how these things go. When the hype train gets moving this fast, the reality is almost always way more nuanced, way more interesting. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut through all that noise and get to the truth.
Okay, so to really get this whole story, we have to start with the challenger, the project that kicked up all this dust in the first place. Let's talk about the disruptive open source phenomenon that is OpenClaw.
So what is OpenClaw, really? And what makes it so different? Well, it all comes down to its architecture. See, this isn't just another chatbot you talk to in a browser. It's a persistent, autonomous agent. It lives on your own hardware, a Mac Mini in your closet, a server, whatever. And the way you control it? You just text it through WhatsApp, iMessage, Signal, like you're texting a human assistant. And people went absolutely bananas for this idea. The project's GitHub repo just skyrocketed to over 100,000 stars in less than 2 weeks. I mean, that's almost unheard of. It's one of the fastest growing open source projects in history. The hunger for something like this was obviously huge. This quote from Katie Nuggets just hits the nail on the head. It really gets to the magic of OpenClaw. It wasn't about just talking to an AI anymore. It was about getting an AI to actually do stuff for you in the real world. It turns conversation into action.
And get this, the stories that started coming out were just wild. One user said their agent saved them $4,200 on a new car. It just autonomously emailed a bunch of different dealerships for days, negotiating and playing them against each other. This wasn't some theoretical thing. It was creating real-world value.
So yeah, you can see the appeal, right? It's free. It's open source. And you're not locked into one AI model. You want to use Claude? Cool. GPT-4? Go for it. And it works with pretty much every messaging app you use daily. It's really the ultimate in freedom and flexibility. But, and this is a huge but, all that freedom comes with some serious risk. Early security audits found hundreds of vulnerabilities, and some of them were critical. You need some serious technical skills to set it up safely, and it is absolutely not ready for any kind of business or enterprise use. So yeah, it's an incredibly powerful tool, but honestly, in the wrong hands, it's also a pretty dangerous one. Okay, so you've got OpenClaw going viral, making all this noise. The big incumbent, Anthropic, they didn't just sit on their hands and watch. Oh no, they responded. And they responded with unbelievable speed.
Just look at this timeline. It shows you exactly how fast they moved. In just 10 weeks, Anthropic pushed out a whole series of products. They started with a research preview called Cowork, and it all led up to Dispatch and Code Channels, which was their clear, direct answer to OpenClaw. And it was that launch of Code Channels on March 20th that really lit the fuse on this whole destroyer narrative.
And this quote from researcher Ethan Mollick just perfectly captures what happened. He points out that Anthropic's ability to see what the market wanted, learn from a project like OpenClaw, and then ship a competing feature in just a matter of weeks, well, that's a total game changer. It just proves how incredibly fast this entire space is moving now.
So, we've met the challenger, we've seen the incumbent's lightning-fast response. Now it's time for the main event. How do these two actually stack up when you put them side by side?
But look, this isn't just a simple feature list. What's so fascinating here is that this whole situation really highlights a core philosophical battle happening in AI development. It's the wild, untamed freedom of open source versus the lockdown safety and reliability of a managed, secure system.
Okay, let's really break this down. For messaging, OpenClaw has a huge edge, right? iMessage, WhatsApp, that's a big deal. For cost, again, it's a win for OpenClaw. It's free, you just pay for your API calls. But then, the whole story flips when you get to setup and security. And this is where Claude's ecosystem just dominates. It's simple, it's integrated, it's got enterprise-grade safety. Meanwhile, OpenClaw is a beast to set up and, as we said, carries big risks. And then there's scope. Claude is really zeroed in on coding right now, whereas OpenClaw has this much grander vision of being a general-purpose agent for everything.
So here's the bottom line, the reality. Did Anthropic destroy OpenClaw? Absolutely not. What they did was brilliantly strategic. They closed a very specific, very important gap for their existing users, developers who want a secure way to let Claude work on their code remotely. But that huge, ambitious vision of OpenClaw, a general-purpose agent for everyone, that's still out there, totally untouched. So, after all that, who's the real winner here? Well, it's not a platform. The real winner is you, the user, because you now have more choices than ever. The only question left is, which choice is the right one for you?
This is really the only question that matters now, isn't it? We've cut through the hype, we've looked at the facts. So how do you decide what to use, or if you should even jump in yet at all?
I think it really boils down to 3 different paths. Path 1, you go with Claude's ecosystem if you're already a subscriber, if security is non-negotiable for you, and if your main goal is coding. Path 2, you choose OpenClaw if you've got the technical skills, you absolutely need support for apps like iMessage, and you're comfortable with and able to manage those security risks. And then there's Path 3, just wait. Seriously, if you're a more casual user or a business, this market is moving so fast that just waiting 6 months for more polished, mature products is a totally smart move.
Ultimately, this whole saga proves one thing for sure. 2026 is the year that AI agents got real. OpenClaw proved the insane demand was there, and Anthropic proved that the big players are paying very, very close attention. That whole destroyer thing was just a dramatic headline. The real story, the story of fierce competition, rapid innovation, and this fundamental clash between open freedom and closed security, that story is just getting started. The only question is, what's the next chapter going to look like?